Two Redmi Note 14s, two cameras, one question. Which one takes better photos? Today we are putting the Redmi Note 14 4G and the Note 14 Pro 4G to the test in a real-world camera comparison. We are talking daylight, low light, selfies, video recording and all the extra features they come with. If you have been wondering whether the Pro model is worth the extra cash, you're about to find out. I recently published a full comparison of the two phones. You can check this video's description for a direct link. For a fair competition, I had to reset both cameras to default settings. Without further ado, it's Mr. Roy here once again, and this is All Round Review. Let's get down to business. Starting with daylight shots, both phones do a decent job in good lighting, and honestly this is where budget and mid-range phones usually performs best. The colors are vibrant on both, but if you look closely, the Note 14 Pro handles shadows a little bit better, keeping more details in darker areas without overexposing the bright parts. The Note 14 adds more exposure to shadows to the images, making it a bit colorful. They both maintain their details in a normal daylight view. When zoomed, you can see the Pro model maintains slightly better sharpness. That's likely due to its higher resolution sensor and better processing. The standard Note 14 slightly boosts saturation, making the colors pop a little more, which some people might actually prefer. Overall, both phones take absolutely nice open view daylight photograph. The base is all about color or saturation, while the Pro is all about the details. One thing you have to note is that the Pro will produce white or washed out pictures when the phone is hot. There are a few times the Note 14 performed better than the Note 14 Pro, especially maintaining HDR from its slightly darker areas, taking photographs of cars and maintaining the same picture quality when the phone's temperature is high. Moving on to portrait mode, both phones create that nice background blur effect, but the way they handle edge detection is slightly different. Both do a better job at separating the subject from the background. While the regular Note 14 struggles with dynamic range in daylight portraits, the object appears to be darker than actual reality. A quick fix to this is to tap on the object or person to focus on them. The Note 14 Pro on the other hand tends to overexpose the object at the cost of losing fine details. Note 14 randomly struggles to separate the ground from the background in full portrait shots, but if you want more realistic look, the Pro version is a way to go. Overall, both phones take absolutely gorgeous portraits, but it all boils down to how good you are with your mobile photography. Let's talk about selfies. The front cameras on both phones produces decent shots. If you are taking selfies with a bright background, the Pro model manages to balance the exposures so your face doesn't look too dark. The Pro also has better color reproduction. It's not oversaturated as seen on the Note 14. Taking portrait selfies, both have a very nice edge detection capabilities, but the Pro seems to give the same natural vibes. The regular Note 14 also applies a bit more skin smoothing, which some people might like, especially for social media, but if you prefer a more natural looking selfies, the Pro version is the better choice. Now this is where things start to get interesting. Low light photography is where budget phones often struggle, and these two are no exception. I took some shots without night mode. Both cameras struggle with noise and details start to get lost when zoomed. The Note 14 Pro does a better job of controlling noise, and the highlights don't get overexposed as much. The standard Note 14 on the other hand still brightens up the image, but at the cost of some extra noise. So if you take a lot of night shots, the Pro version is the better pick here. For those who love capturing details up close, both phones capture well detailed close-up pictures with fine sharpness. This is where the color of Note 14 can be praised because it adds more natural flair and sharpness to the pictures. Though colors are partially similar, the Pro model retains better texture and depth. If you are someone who likes taking close-up shots of objects like flowers, textures or food, the base version might give you a slight edge. Alright, zooming is where both phones start to struggle a bit, since neither has a dedicated telephoto lens. At 2x, both are fine and the details still look good. At 5x, you start seeing a loss in sharpness, but the Note 14 Pro holds up a little better, and if you go to max zoom, let's just say it's more of an emergency feature rather than something you would want to use regularly. When it comes to video, both phones can shoot at 1080p and 60fps max. But stabilization is where the difference becomes noticeable. Working while recording, the Note 14 Pro keeps things slightly more stable, while the standard Note 14 has more shakes. For videography, both tends to shoot good quality videos, but don't expect flagship quality here. Snap it away. So after all these tests, which one is better? Well, if you just need a decent camera for casual photography, the Redmi Note 14 4G is fine. It takes good quality pictures in daylight, has okay portrait mode, and does the job for everyday users. But if you care about better low light performance, slightly better zoom, improved stabilization in videos, and more natural skin tones in selfies and portraits, the Note 14 Pro 4G is the better pick here. The difference aren't massive, but they do add up, especially if you take a lot of photos and videos. What do you think? Would you go for the Note 14 Pro, or is the standard Note 14 good enough for you? Drop a comment below and let me know. If this video helped you out, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notification for more honest tech comparison. It's Mr. Roy here once again, and this is All Around Review. Catch you in the next one. Bye for now.